Hello, today we're going to be making this card featuring the July 2014 Simon Says stamp kit. These are the items we're using from the kit today. And for my card base, it's going to be a gray top folding card. This is basic gray from Stampin' Up. So to begin, I'm using a piece of vellum. This is from my stash. And we're going to do some embossing. So I'm using my embossing buddy here to remove the static. And we're going to use Versamark ink, which is a clear embossing ink, with this Thinking of You stamp set. So I'm just stamping it there, and I did some stash diving and I found some dark blue embossing powder. This is really old, that I had in my stash for many years, but it still works. So I'm just pouring my powder over my stamped image and removing the excess few little flyaways, and then I just heat set it here with my heat tool. And then you can see the shimmer here, I'll show you in a bit, of what the embossing did here on the vellum. Looks really nice in this blue. So now I'm going to use the little flower stamp from the set, and this is my first time using Simon Says stamp ink. And it was really juicy. I was getting little puddles of ink on my stamp. So here I'm just kind of testing it out to see how it looks when I stamp it off. And I was trying to twist, and then I was trying to slide to not get those little bubbles. So I'm just kind of trying out the ink for my first time. It was just a really juicy ink pad, but it smoothed itself out and it actually stamped really nicely. And then this is Daffodil Delight yellow ink, and I'm using the small little circle image from the stamp set to stamp the center of each flower. So I think that was the intention of that stamp. So now I'm just going to fussy cut these out with my scissors. So there they are. And now I can just start assembling my card. So here's the pattern paper from the kit. I'm going to layer my stamped vellum on top of it. And to adhere my vellum, I'm using some glue dots. And I'm just rolling them with my finger to get them more narrow. And then I'm just trying to place it behind portions of the stamped image so that you can't see it. So I just put it in two places. And now I'm just going to lay it on top of the designer paper that came from the kit. And then along this edge I wanted to do a faux stitched edge, and it didn't work for me. I poked all the holes and then I couldn't find my needle. So I only was able to tie the thread through the top and the bottom holes. So it still worked out, but I wanted a stitch edge. Now I'm just trimming off the excess here. So now I just need to place these flowers. And again, I'm just going to use my glue dots to place them on top of the vellum. And I'm going to just use 3 of these flowers that I cut out. I was thinking 5 initially, but it was just too much. And then now that I had that flower on the vellum, I took another glue dot and rolled it with my fingers and placed another glue dot right there behind the flower to hold the vellum in a 3rd spot. And then I wanted to add a white border, but again I had trouble. My ink ran out. My gel pen dried out, so I had to go over it with my Stampin' Up marker in Not Quite Navy and try to hide that white that I got there. So I need a few new supplies. So there's my border, and here I'm just trying to touch up and hide some more of that white with my marker. And that finishes the card. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.